Sport fans, I'm Michael Sakala.
I'm Brandon Wicker.
And how the hell are you? Well, Brando, I just hope today's show doesn't get a little deflated.
We're here with you live again at Bellacino's.
I had to do it. You know I had to bring up something about this whole deflate game,
Well,
you know?
good thing you brought the pump with you.
I had to. I mean, something like this, we just can't let it blow over. You know what I mean? So, I got to ask you.
Apparently the NFL can't either.
I'm going to joke around about this whole, thing and whatnot, but can you do me a favor?
What's that?
Can you put the wind under my wings and explain to all of us what this whole deflate game and what it actually is, this whole thing with the football?
Well,
Come on.
as you know, I'm not a scientist.
No.
I don't know anything about inflating footballs. I do think it's funny that I wrote myself a little rant on Facebook about this. And so next year, what I do want listed in the stats of all games
Yes.
is what the air pressure was in the football when the game started and when it was over. I want that in the stat line.
It's actually not a bad
So we
idea.
have yardage from the team, passing,
Yeah.
rushing first downs, everything, and football pressure. I want that on the stat sheets. This has become a ridiculous joke. Could have been put to bed a long time ago by the NFL. They apparently, unbeknownst to us regular viewers, if we would have read their rule book, they have a rule. Ball must have a certain amount of air pressure in it.
Yeah.
And it's apparently just the home team that supplies the balls. They're looked at by the referee after the quarterback, gets a field job on them.
After he feels their balls.
He feels their balls. And then when he's satisfied, that's how it goes. Well, apparently they found, and it's got nothing to do. I have not heard a Colt. You don't hear Andrew Luck running around. Well, I lost because of the. They went back to the game before and asked Harbaugh. He's like, we never had no problem with the balls of the game being, and nobody's saying. I mean, look at the first half where they claim 11 of 12 balls used were underinflated. The score was 17-7. The second half, 9 of 9 they used were perfect. Final score was 45-7. You tell me. Did it have anything to do with the outcome of the game? No.
No, I don't.
But apparently, like I said, the NFL has a rule. So therefore, just like they did to Ray Rice and Adrian Peterson and all these other people that get into trouble, or $25,000 for Clay Matthews hitting the Seahawks quarterback, Wilson. What is the fine for 11 balls being overinflated? $5,000 a ball. Okay, $55,000. New England, pay that. Let's go watch the Super Bowl. These people just won't let it go.
No.
And I hope before we arrive in Arizona, for the sake of things, this is over with. And I sure hope there's an equipment person in Arizona that has a pump in case these balls are underinflated for the Super Bowl.
Well, maybe they can train a monkey, as you can see, to maybe pump the ball.
The monkey's got a good idea.
This is the whole reason why we started this whole crap is this whole TMZ. All we talk about is stupid shit.
You've been asking me all week about matchups. You can't find one. That's all
Nobody
they want to talk about is football air pressure.
I mean, I agree. I don't think the ball had anything to do with the game and the results. But you got to. I'll tell you what, though. Brady and Belichick, not only masterminds on the field, but at the podium. I mean, I got all these notes. I'm not even going to get into it. At this point, he put it in there. As Belichick said, he's embarrassed of how much time he spent on this, and that the process and the preparation to do with the ball, and now he's claiming that it was the climate, because once it goes from a room temperature
locker
room
professors
out to
and
outside,
scientists,
etc. and so on. How come the Colts ball wasn't the same? He can't explain that, and so on and so forth. At the end of the day, it's time to move on to the Super Bowl and just find, like you said, give him $5,000 a ball, whatever, and let's just start talking about matchups in the Super Bowl.
And I got to tell you, not to knock him, but I believe the Belichick's podium speech 100%.
Yeah.
He's got nothing to do with it.
What does he care?
But Brady did come off a little weird, and apparently former quarterbacks think so too, for whatever that's worth.
Yeah.
I don't really care, like you said.
Yeah.
5,000 football, so let's move on.
At the end of the day, the Patriots they're just shady at times, but you got to they're in the Super Bowl, and let's move on. Now, I got on here, and I see obviously you're wearing it in respect of him.
Yeah, it's a sad day Friday night.
The Major League Baseball took a bad hit this week as a sad day as Ernie Banks at the age of 83 passed away. Mr. Cub, as they called him. I got some stats. In the 19 seasons, he was inducted in the Hall of Fame in 1977. It looks like he had a career average of 274. He had over 2,500 hits, over 500 home runs, over 1,600 RBIs, and 1,300 runs scored.
He played short at first, and 277 of those home runs were hit as a shortstop, which is still a record right now.
I mean, I don't follow. I'm assuming you know a little more than I
Also,
do.
two-time MVP, 58, 59.
Wow.
Beating out Willie Mays, Hank Aaron.
Yep. I mean, I guess from what I understand, I didn't get into detail. I believe it was natural causes, but I do believe, from a Cubs standpoint, it's a sad day for Mr. Banks.
We did have to mention that, but before delving totally into baseball, you want to make any comments about the Seahawks game?
The Packers-Seahawks game, I think I was telling you, what I didn't understand was, it was almost like, I'm assuming at this point, because I even text you, Matthews was on the sideline. I thought he got hurt, but apparently they thought they won the game. In the game, I don't know if they looked at the clock. There was a lot of time left.
I never got an explanation for that.
The slide and how they tell him the slide after the interception, and he had wide open field. Like I said, who in their right mind wouldn't want to run back an interception in the NFC Championship game, take that ball, put it in glass, and now it sits in his home, in his bar, and years to come, he's drinking with his buddies. He's the only one that's got that. Because chances are none of his other buddies got an NFC interception run back for a touchdown. It was possibly the game-winning touchdown. Right. I mean, you tell me. I thought it's like they gave up. I don't know.
As you know, it took me a day to even be spoken to after that, because I wouldn't even speak to you. But that, to me, you can add up all kinds of stuff. That was the start of the downfall.
Yeah.
The slide off, where even if he doesn't run it back, he runs it back at least in the field goal range.
Yes.
And you could have still had the complete collapse, but then the final drive is to win the game instead of tie the game.
Yeah.
In regulation.
This is true.
You can wish all you want to. Do you want to say this to the Packers? You wasted years of my time on the roster. You have a roster spot with number 50 on it. Apparently fooled by everything now at this state in his career. I do not want to see a roster spot taken up on a 53-man roster next year by A.J. Hawk. Have nothing against the man. The man is too slow, cannot cover people. Let him do something on the sidelines. Let him help with secondary coaching or linebacker coaching.
Maybe I'm a coach.
I do not want a roster spot eaten up by this gentleman anymore. Thank you.
I mean, I think the Packers were and are the better team. It's just that for whatever reason,
Well, they had a great game plan.
It's almost like they did. It's like they celebrate. They popped the cork.
56 minutes.
You know, it's like they started putting the championship hat on, and they said, we got 5 minutes left on the field. Come on.
You don't do a slide. The clock just ticked under 5. You don't slide down when there's that much time left. You just don't.
As we know, it is
back to baseball.
Super Bowl's not for 2 weeks, and I want to start getting into.
We're down to 1 now. Actually, we had a deflate game.
I can't keep up. I'm deflated over here. I don't know, and I'm blowing hot air, as they say.
There you go. I just blow into this if you
So
need to.
before we get into football talk and this, that, and the other, I do want to start bringing in other sports. One of the things I want to bring up is in Major League Baseball. Mad Max.
This is real interesting.
Mad Max gets
the man that you lost to the Nationals.
7-year contract.
$30 million.
$210 million a year. The question is it
Over
worth
7
it?
years.
I heard Pete Rose earlier this week on the radio. They were asking him. Basically, he goes, for $1 million a game, you're paying a guy that only can pitch up to 6 innings. Now you have to spend more money on your bullpen because he's going to wear them down. And then I looked it up. Mad Max, he's 91 of 50. He's only had 1 career complete game, 1 shutout. He's got an ERA of 3.58. He's pitched over 1,200 innings. He's only given up 133 home runs, which is interesting. He's given up over 1,100 hits. I looked at the starting rotation, and it is strong. You got Max, Zimmerman, Strasburg, Gonzalez, Fisher. A lot of righties, but it's strong. Their bullpen is.
I like the breakdown.
But this is the part that you're going to love here, Gar. There is 18 guys as of now on the Washington's pitching roster.
Starting relievers.
All pitchers. $110 million is their annual salary.
Just for those 18 guys.
There's 162 games a year. 9 innings a game. If you break it down, there's technically 1,458 innings in an entire year. Washington this year is paying $75,000 an inning to throw the ball. People, teach your kid how to throw a fastball.
Yeah.
I mean, if he pitches, pitched 2 innings, he made $150,000 in 1 game for crying. I mean, come on, I'm going back to for crying out loud. That's insane to spend that money. But now I guess for Washington, are they the front runners? Are they the team now to beat in the National League because of all this?
Without a doubt, that made their rotation better. But
Yeah.
they had the #1 rotation last year and bowed out.
Now they got beat. That's what I wonder. Do you now take some of these hot heat and you trade them up, bring some bats in there? I don't know. I just think it's unbelievable the amount of money they're paying to throw a fastball. It just blows my mind.
Yeah, I wish I had his arm.
Tell me about it.
Did you see Fister?
What's that?
Did you see Fister?
Fister, yeah. He's their 5th starter.
And he's probably just as good as Scherzer
I think
without all the heat.
I think all
like
5 of their guys are really good.
I like him.
You know? Next I want to talk about, as far as the NBA, you know, we're going to start getting into the NBA and things. I want to talk about Kobe, the Black Mamba.
As long as he doesn't say James, I'm all right.
Yeah, the Black Mamba, unfortunately, on Monday is going to go to get his final determination on his Rotator Cuff. And at 36 years old,
This is the 3rd time now, I think, in the last 3 years.
What?
And in between one of them, he signs this big, large contract.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't do big.
This is what you did for me,
Yes.
paying forward contract. And now he's just eating up Laker money in the salary cap, and every 15 games he's down.
He's been around for 19 seasons.
Yeah, he's had a good career.
As far as I'm concerned, he may be the closest thing to Michael we may ever see, because the king is not Michael. I looked it up. He's got a career average. He's played 1,280 games. He averages 36 minutes, 25 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 1 steal. His postseason, 220 games, 39 minutes, 25 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 1 steal. I mean, he's 5-time champion, 2-time Finals MVP. He was the MVP of the league in 07-08 season. He's won the 2008 Gold Olympics medal. He's been all NBA honors, all defense honors.
So he did it all.
He's done everything.
Except
you know?
the college thing that he didn't go.
He's 3rd on the all-time list for scoring at 32,000 points. He's had 1 game, his career high 1 game against Toronto was 81 points. This is part's unreal. 24 career games with 50 or more points. That's unreal.
I think that one you pointed out there was keeping him going.
He wanted
the total.
He wanted something over Michael. Now, I think it is. I think Kobe, it's time. Take up TNT, replace Charles Barkley. Who doesn't want to see you argue with Shaq on a weekly basis? But I will say this.
I'm saying keep Charles.
I'm saying, and one thing you got to do me a favor, Kobe, as a viewer, it's not 03 and it's not Colorado. Please don't lick your lips before every sentence. We know you're nervous. You'll get over it, just like we did after a few weeks. But I'll tell you what I do. I think it's time for maybe the 2nd greatest basketball player, I guess, unless you start getting into Wilton Chamberlain and all the rest of them, just to hang it up. Here's a subject you're probably going to enjoy. Mr. Speed Racer himself, Jeff Gordon, is going to do one more last lap for us this year.
Actually, another sad one, actually.
I mean,
43 years old.
He's 3rd on the all-time as far as wins with 92 wins. And like I was telling you, I read, they consider him to be the 4th all-time behind Earnhardt, Petty, Jimmy Johnson. They got Jeff at 4. As a NASCAR race car fan, what's your thoughts on Jeff? Calling it the last lap.
I'm kind of sad that he's doing that. It seemed like when he got into the family part, got married and the kids and that, it affected him more than others, because he spent, 3-4 year stretch there, real, unlike Jeff Gordon numbers.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
Then he's come back here the last few years with a rebound, looking good again, but he's clearly not, how do you want to say it, maybe as ambitious as he used to be.
I think you got it. He doesn't have that edge like he once was.
Yeah.
He does, because he's got more
like when he used
now.
to, you were discussing, which I'm sure you're still going to talk about a little bit, like when he had his edge with Dale Sr., when they used to rub off on each other, He's, my favorite's Jimmy, so he's partially my owner. He's going to stay, involved with Hendricks racing anyway. I don't know to what extent. He said he might want to jump in and do some stuff at favorite tracks of his, like Bristol or Martinsville, later on down the line.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do some promoting and things of that sort. I think for casual fans like myself and other people out there, you may not, let's just say, you may not watch the entire race all laps, but I do think what you're going to find yourself on Sunday, you're going to be chiming in, looking at the last, say, 10 laps, just to see where he's at, just to see and be a witness of, say, his last time he wins at Daytona, or his last time he wins at Bristol, and so on and so forth. like I said, I know him as Speed Racer. To me, he was the closest looking thing to Speed Racer there was.
He was the first time winner when they opened the Indy deal at Indy 500 when NASCAR won.
Really?
He won the first race, inaugural race there.
I mean, like I said, I'm kind of excited to watch it simply because I am a fan of Jeff. I'm not a big race car fan, but I am a fan of Jeff Gordon's.
Go ahead.
Next thing I want to get into again when it comes to other sports is the NHL, and I want to say welcome to 2015. The NHL has decided during the skills competition at the All-Star break that Sports Vision, the same company behind real-time graphics with the NASCAR and the NFL, they are going to be embedding a chip inside the puck and also inside players' jerseys that is going to start pulling data for puck and skate speed, puck and player location, and ice time. And basically, you're going to start digitally recording everything. And for a casual fan, now we're going to be able to see while the game's played, the guy's skate speed, his puck speed, and his ice time. Now, no, to a hockey fan or whatnot, this may not be that big of a deal or that that impressive, but I do think it's going to pull the casual fan in because a lot of people are into information. What I don't understand is why this sport is not as popular as it should be. Wednesday morning, I watched the highlight of the Flyers and Pens game. One in the overtime, and the Flyers won 3-2. There were 71 hits, 83 penalties, and 8 fights. How is this game not more popular? Isn't this what we all want? We want to see people hit each other? You tell me, how are people not watching hockey more often? These guys are out there fighting day in and day out. Now I take it out. How sweet's that? We're getting stuff right off the presses here. Mm-hmm. Nice.
As you know, while you were doing that, I was getting us ready here. A little shot of Crown for myself, a little vodka for my buddy here.
Sweet.
Got my Cub shot glass out. This is for Ernie.
Ernie.
Way to meet Mr. Cub.
Ooh, that was good. That was
Like
chocolate.
a shot of Crown.
I think I'll wash it down with some vodka and Red Bull. For you at home that are wondering what I was drinking, vodka and Red Bull to start my morning.
My buddy here has a breakdown that he would like to see the NFL go to, and I'm not a fan of. I'm only a fan of half of it because he believes in dumping all teams from American and National Conference together, shaking the bag, throwing it out. I would be opposed to that. I would only like it to do it on each side and then come together for a Super Bowl. But go ahead and explain it.
Sport fans, I am not the biggest fan anymore of this whole AFC and NFC playoffs to the Super Bowl and the AFC and the NFC meet. It's 2015. Okay, come on. My theory is just like they do in basketball with the tournament style. Let's take all 12 teams this year, for instance, that won into the
basketball
playoffs.
still keeps it East and West.
No, I'm talking about from a tournament standpoint.
You're talking college.
College is what I mean. I think the whole 64. If you took all 12 teams and you seeded them by record and net points, here's what my playoff chart would look like. I got the Pats as first seed, Seahawks at the second seed, Packers are third, Broncos are fourth, the Cowboys are the fifth seed, the Colts are sixth seed, the Pittsburgh Steelers are number 7, the Detroit Lions would be number 8, the Cardinals are number 9, the Ravens are 10, the Bengals are 11, and the Panthers would be the 12th seed. There's your 12 teams. Now, the way my first round would work is I got the Lions and the Cards playing, I got the Colts and Bengals playing, Pittsburgh and the Ravens, and Dallas playing the Panthers. That's a pretty good first round wild card weekend, just like we had this year. And then I had the second round of Divisional League. I got the Lions going to the Patriots, which would be a really good game, interesting. We got the Colts and Broncos, because we already know what happens there. And we got the Packers and Cowboys, which would be, as it was, an exciting game. And then we have the fight match between Seattle and the Ravens in a divisional matchup. That would have been a bloodbath. Then the normal results is obviously I would assume the Patriots would win, the Colts would win, the Packers would win because it wasn't a catch. We're not going to go there. And I'm assuming just because of home field, the Seahawks would win. And then ultimately the same results we have now. The Patriots and the Seahawks would be playing the Super Bowl. But it would be interesting if they kind of blended it up. Now, what would be kind of interesting and probably exciting for those so-called Philadelphia, or I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to say that anymore, the Eagle fans is, if you went by records, the Panthers would not be in the playoffs. The Eagles would.
Right.
Eagles, would you like to play the Cowboys the first round in the playoffs? Who wouldn't want to see them? Better than us, the Panthers. So that's my theory on that.
And the only thing that I'm against it is you could wind up and like, what if this happened year after year for 3 or 4 years? The Patriots playing the Colts in the Super Bowl.
You could have a lot of different matches
from your same side. I'm just saying, you
Yeah.
could wind up. I don't really want to see that. Bengals playing the Broncos in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I just.
And then one other little theory I got is, as we all know, it is Pro Bowl weekend. And as you can tell by my excitement, I'm not a fan of Pro Bowl. I'm not a fan of Pro Bowl. I'm not a fan of this is the week the NFL gives back to the fans. NFL, you want to give back to the fans? How about giving a price break to all the season ticket holders? Or how about giving all the season ticket holders free parking? Don't tell me that I got to fly over to Hawaii or wherever to go watch these knuckleheads now play football. I want to change it from the Pro Bowl. I want to call it the Draft Bowl. I want to take the kids from the Senior Bowl in college and anybody who's probably 4th round on down that for an NFL draft, put them into a football game format on this platform. They get to spend a week with the Pro Bowlers, let them still show up to the game, and they get to practice with these kids who are this close to possibly being drafted. And put 22 kids on the field that are going to play their ass off because this may be the one shot they get on a national stage to show people they deserve and belong in the NFL. I don't want to watch a guy go up for a pass and he just, and it's almost like it's like the NBA All-Stars. It's boring. Nobody plays.
I'm going to add 2 points to that. Make sure you put a call in if you know what football pressure was at the end of the Pro Bowl.
This is true.
So
we're going to want to know that. I mean, what do you think about
similar to what you were saying? Along the same lines, in Arizona, they're getting together. There's a day picked out, I don't know if it's in March or something, where a bunch of free agents.
Oh, yeah, I heard about this.
Kids who be walk-ons are going to go there and be viewed by all the NFL scouts and everything.
But that's like a combine.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not the regular weight pumping thing. It's
Imagine a kid, he's looking at a 5th round or maybe a 6th round. He's a defensive end, and he's got some skills, but he's just that close. How nice would it be? He spends a week with J.J. Watt. He learns a couple little things. He goes out there and he's extremely impressive. He may get drafted just to be on, say, the special teams and work his way up. But without this format, we may not even never know who are these kids. I don't know. I just know I'm tired of the Pro Bowl format. It's boring.
Next week, of course, we'll have our Super Bowl show, and we've got at least 1, possibly 2 or 3 special guests lined up.
Uh-oh. Really? Yeah, I mean, I'm not ready to give into my Pro Bowl or my Super Bowl picks and all that stuff. We'll wait till next week. I'm still going over some things. That's exciting. That's exciting.
We're still hung up on the air problem here. We got to clear the air.
This is true. Speaking of clearing, Garrett, let me ask you something. What's your thoughts on this whole deflate gate and things like that? I mean, your pizza's got to rise. What happens if your crust deflates? What would you blame it on?
Referees.
I can do the pizza scientist.
I mean, do you think it deserves all the publicity?
No. It just threw everything out of whack this week. Play the game. You know what I mean? Just play the game. Forget whose football has more air, who has less air. Play the game. It's all about the game.
One quickie for you. Do you think the signing of Price and the losing of Max is kind of a wash for the Tigers?
They still have to sign Price.
I thought they did for one.
They got him for a year.
19.75 or so.
That's just for
Okay.
1 year.
Okay.
But we still got to sign him. Max, we can do without Max.
Especially at that price.
Max went for the money. He's over there saying he wants to stay in Detroit. All along, you heard Dombrowski.
Right.
He wasn't interested. You can see it. Dombrowski knows what he's doing. Wasn't interested in Max.
Exactly.
He said, let him go. I heard at one time we may have gotten, who's their center fielder over there? The young kid?
I can't remember off the top of my head. I know you're talking about them.
From Washington. Dombrowski was going after him. And I think that kind of scared Washington people. So you got Max.
You traded the one you had away. Right? Jackson went to Seattle.
It's a young 19-year-old kid that came into the league.
Harper.
Yeah.
Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
Detroit was going to go after him. maybe it's a payback. Who knows? Maybe Washington say after Bryce, we're coming after Max. Who knows? I don't know.
Baseball's got some deep pockets.
You know, I'm gonna tell you though.
They're not afraid to write checks. That's for sure.
Max or Fister, I take Fister.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that right now.
I think I agree with you.
Fister is a good pitcher. He missed part of the season last year, and look what he did. He still had 18 and 19 wins.
So more intelligence versus velocity,
totally.
so he's not, you know.
Max, the way watch his arm after he releases the ball. He's going to throw his arm out. You watch. He's not going to last this 7, 8, 9 years that they plan on using him, and 15 to pay him.
Yeah, there's not many Nolan Ryans around.
And with that, I'm going to leave again.
Well, sport fans, enjoy your Pro Bowl weekend and all your other sports
Hopefully,
this Sunday.
Hopefully Inflategate is over with.
And we'll get ready for the Super Bowl. Can't wait for all these special guests.
We do
Enjoy
realize
yourself.
Bill Belichick is not a scientist.
Have a good one.